John Cage is a man I don't know much about. He's an American composer that made avant-garde compositions, which means he made compositions that broke through the definitions and our idea of what music is at the time, and has influenced all types of artists and art forms outside of music just based on his approach and mentality. And most importantly, the point of this video is he also popularized these 10 rules that relate to learning, creating, and which are all super useful and insightful to read when you're learning anything. I'll just go ahead and put those in the description below. But what really kind of resonated with me the most was rule number 8. And rule number 8 is the following: don't try to create and analyze at the same time. They're different processes. And that resonated a lot with me, because that's exactly what I tend to do all the time, and what tends to block my enjoyment. It blocks my development. You think that by creating and analyzing at the same time, meaning drawing and at the same time constantly analyzing whether you're doing things correctly, whether you can improve anything in your technique, whether you're applying the right methods, whether what you're doing is good or not, all these things, you think it's useful for you, you think that these are things that will help you grow. And I'm sure they do somewhat, but in the end, it feels like it's wasting time, sabotaging time you could actually use to completely dedicate yourself to either learning or creating. It rang as just a really powerful statement and truth that just stayed in my mind, because I think personally that's something I struggle with a lot. Because I think in my case, and maybe in a lot of people's cases, there's an impatience to learn quickly. I'm starting quite late personally. I'm 34. I've been taking drawing seriously for the last 2 years, and I feel like I'm trying to catch up on everyone else instead of just trusting my own path. And then you end up trying to take shortcuts all the time by trying to be fast or trying to overthink things. But I think what John Cage is trying to say, or what his popularized lessons are trying to say, is that you should allocate time to learning. That's good. You should allocate time to analyzing your work. That's also good. These are things that will help you grow, help you develop techniques, your competence, your expertise, your style, your expression, all these things. But there's also a time to be just completely creative. There's a time to make work, make art, without wanting to sound too pretentious. And that's something you should completely dedicate yourself to, completely free yourself up to, Forget about how your work is perceived, how your level is perceived. Forget about placing your work in a comparison of sorts, in a hierarchical structure to everyone else or to your own work. Forget about all of it, just create. And there's value in that, there's truth in that. There's there's enjoyment to be drawn from it, but there's also, you're giving yourself a chance to actually make something good. You're giving yourself a chance to learn in an unconscious, subconscious way. And you're also giving yourself, a separately allocated time to study, to analyze. Because, I think what he's saying in the lesson is that they're both important things. They're both important things as established artists, but also as a student. And you should, you should be very conscious of those things, but definitely not try to mix them, because you'll shoot yourself in the foot. And I think it's an incredibly valuable lesson. I think I'm so grateful that I came across it, and hopefully, maybe someone that's watching this video that also does, anything art related can also draw something from that. Free yourself up. I think freeing yourself up, constantly is biggest challenge in creating and learning. That's what I encourage everyone to do. I'm sure for different people there are different rules that resonate and that can do a lot to evolve and progress. And I'll leave you with just another rule, finish things off. Rule number 9, be happy whenever you can manage it. Enjoy yourself. It's lighter than you think.